When you can't read or you're functionally literate, meaning that you might be able to read a little bit, but if you put a newspaper in front of you couldn't read that, it affects the kinds of jobs you're going to get. It affects how people see you. I grew up saying ain't every other word and not knowing when to say seen or saw or how those people know when to say gone or went, and nobody could hear me. I couldn't read a newspaper at 26. I didn't know the words, the middle-class words. So my teachers would talk about things, and I'd say, what does that word mean? And they'd send me to the dictionary, and I'd find 5 more words. So what you find is that when people don't gain literacy, they don't gain the skills they need to have a career, to be employed in a living wage job. They're not seen as intelligent. We view IQ with the way people talk. And reading shapes the way we talk. The middle-class vocabulary, the middle-class experiences. If you're not exposed to those, it locks you out of education. It locks you out of employment. It locks you out of our human services because you're asked to fill out a form. You can't. You're asked to, everything is given in print. Court system. You're given your paperwork in print. You can't read it. I just helped the guy last week who they text him his court date. He can't read. So he missed his court date. So instead of getting a fine, I'm Dr. Beagle. Could I help use my title to advocate and advocate for people who are not literate? And we have such ignorance in the United States. I was on a plane not too long ago where a person saw my book, See Poverty, Be the Difference, and there's little kids on there. And she said, oh, those people, they have no love in their lives and they never have any fun. And I said, we have a lot of love and we have a lot of fun. We just ain't got no money because we're not literate. And she said, there are no more illiterate people in America. And I said, hey, where are you going? Maybe you should come to my place for a karaoke party and I could introduce you to a few. Millions of Americans are not able to read. Millions of Americans are not able to fill out a form. And trying to go through the system, say you have a disability, trying to go through and fill out for SSI, Supplemental Security Income, or TANF welfare. I mean, the stacks of forms you got to fill out, it's impossible unless you have someone around you. Well, the isolation of poverty perpetuates it because there's nobody to ask. What's this word? How do you fill this out? What does this mean? We just don't fit in the system when we're not literate. So in the United States, if you're not able to read, it is almost a direct sentence to worrying every night about being evicted, not able to get your health care, struggling with transportation. How do you get a driver's license? A direct sentence into a cage. So many people in our prisons are unable to read and write. And it really is clear in the research that without literacy, it is a direct pipeline to poverty and prison. I worked with the school, and a teacher said, you have to help me with this 10-year-old in my class. She said, I've tried everything. I said, what have you tried? I took away recess. I don't let him have extracurricular activities. He's not allowed any athletics, and he's still late every day, and he won't do his homework. And I said, what do you call homework when you don't have a home? How many people are on time when they're in crisis? I said, can I talk to this little guy? Can I talk to his family? She said, they move all the time. I don't know where they are. And I finally found the family. This 10-year-old was living in the back of a pickup with his grandpa. And he made it to school for 7 months. And when he got there, he was punished. So as a result of getting poverty informed, this school changed their tardy slips to, "We're so glad you're here. We can't punish people out of poverty." Majority of people who are in the war zone of poverty have more than one job, according to census, and they can't afford rent. So many people working and qualify for SNAP food stamps because it's not a living wage. A job means you don't get treated with respect, you don't move up, you don't have literacy, you're not moving up. My brother Melvin, he always was given managerial duties at the tire shop because he could fix tires really well, but never managerial pay because he couldn't read. Important piece is when people are in poverty, it's not only one bullet of poverty hitting them, it's multiple bullets. It's the car getting towed, it's somebody got arrested, somebody can't get their medicine. It's hitting everybody around you. And so you get one thing taken care of and you get knocked down again. And there's really nothing you can do about it because you're not going to earn a living wage if you're not literate. Our labor statistics are clear. If you take a minimum wage job in the United States as high school or less, and I will find you 10 years later earning $2 more an hour. So if I work at that convenience store, a McDonald's, a Walmart, come see me in 10 years. If I'm not literate or functionally literate, my average increase is $2 an hour. And if I work another 15 years, it's 25 cents more. That's 25 years in the labor market. So many people are working, but if they're not literate, they're not earning a living. And we say work harder. People will say there's not hunger in America. There's obesity. There's too much food, which shows our ignorance about what you're able to buy. Before the pandemic, if you were on SNAP food stamps, you got $1.47 per meal. So what are you going to buy? You're buying the carbs, the starches, the quick, the easy, the fast, things that will stretch. And once in a while, man, you're going to get what those people have so you can feel special too. But it's basically heart attack food. So people in poverty die an average of 15 years younger than someone born into a middle-class environment. But the kinds of foods that you access are typically heart attack food. It's interesting, so many people are using the trauma-informed literature right now, but that research was done on middle-class college students. It didn't include people in poverty. The way I define trauma is by not having food. Where's the community? How could it be that you're in a wealthy nation and there's no food and there's a spoon of peanut butter to eat? That's trauma. A lot of that research focuses on addiction, sex abuse, child abuse, domestic violence, but it doesn't capture what about the trauma of watching your mom do without food so you can eat? What about the trauma of watching the way your mom's treated or your dad's treated in the workplace or in trying to get help? The trauma comes from the community, a community that isn't poverty informed.